I got around and I finally got the pineapple one.
Yeah.
So that's the last one I've got to try, and I kind of fucking love it. This is probably my favorite. I love, and even Cherry said I love green apple, but
Yeah.
this one is possibly my favorite. That's
Yeah.
saying a lot because it does
Okay.
kind of taste a bit like. Did you ever have Passiona or Pasito? It's weird though because it's a passion fruit flavored thing, but this
Mm.
smells and tastes exactly the same.
No, I think the drink equivalent of what we had as kids growing up was what was it called? Umbongo. That was it. It had the most unhinged adverts as well. Like to see these
Unbongo.
animals in the jungle. Umbongo, umbongo. Yeah, it was just insane. But yeah, it had quite a catchy little theme tune as well.
Okay, now I've got to Google this unbongo.
Umbongo. But yeah, no man, God forbid.
Oh, so this looks
Umbongo.
like it was. Oh, it looks like it's like a Tetra Pak or like what we used to call
Yeah.
Primas because it was a Prima brand, but it looks like it's
Mm.
like an orange juice. But
Yeah, well, it used to come in a you used to get them out of vending machines and stuff at school and everything else, and it was like about that big sort of
oh,
thing,
that
and it
makes
was
sense.
like a lunchbox juice,
Yeah, that's
as
what
I would call it.
we used to call them Primas because Primas were the brand, but
Okay.
technically it was like what Americans call fruit box or what we used to also call Tetra Paks because that's what the actual process of
Hmm.
doing it was. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, so that's kind
Oh
of
well,
cool.
learning something new every day. That's the main thing.
There's some useless information for you that may
you
win you a
you never
thingo.
know. You never know. It may happen when we finally have a pub quiz, and it finally pops up, and I'm like, haha, I was destined for this.
Hang on,
This is my.
just adjusting because I felt like my head is just like at the bottom of the screen. Because I adjusted this the other day, and ever since I've been adjusting it every second time I'm bloody on here, I'm like, like I did a meeting the other day like this, but
Mm,
I'm also means that I'm kind of half standing, half floating on my seat, and I'm like, then I adjusted it after that meeting, and then it was so low that I had to do this.
yeah.
Oh,
Now I'm very lucky that no one else uses my rig, so it's quite good that I don't have nothing gets adjusted, sort of thing, most of the time.
you know what? I think I
We
did it.
get
You know
to.
when I moved my camera to show you something after stream
Yeah,
yesterday?
last week.
I
Yeah, last
think
week.
that's
Yeah.
what screwed me.
Mm,
I can't remember what I showed
probably,
you.
probably. You were showing me the scanner. You were showing me the
Oh,
scanner in
yes,
action.
that's
That's
right.
what you were doing. That
Yeah,
is what
so
you were
for
doing.
anybody who
But
think I did show Jordan my scanner, which was all kinds of
yes, yes,
sexy, and it
very
works
nice,
hella
very fancy.
quick. Like I'm
Mm,
I'm well impressed with it.
it was very nice.
Dorks Down Under.
Anyway, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Dorks Down Under, season 4, episode 11. We are actually back on track and everything else now that me and Des have actually worked out what episodes were what and where they were meant to be and everything else. So
Yeah,
thank you very much for any wrong numbers that have been said previously to this episode.
I feel like it's going to be one of those things where it's just like a little asterisk at the bottom, wrong title again. But it's one of those things that we never actually have to delete from our edit because we
Yeah.
always mess up the numbers. So it's just going to
Yes.
be star.
Yes.
Just make up the
We,
numbers. Like I feel like this
we honestly just we are getting to that stage where we just can't keep track of numbers. That's the
yeah.
problem. We are stupid. That's what happens.
I feel like
Anyway,
it's
we
like
do want
that.
to say Happy Easter, everyone.
Oh
Happy
yes,
Easter.
we are
By the time
feeling
this
this.
comes out, Easter's come and gone. I hope everyone enjoys getting fat on chocolate,
Yes.
sort of thing. In fact, today I've broken my diet today just for a bit of fun, and I had 2 ham and cheese melted croissants in the press this morning.
Oh darling.
Felt very full off that, and then for lunch I went out to the pub with the boy, and I had half a portion of chips, and now I feel sick as a dog.
Oh really?
I thought, oh, when it's like you think, oh, chips, yes, and I started eating them, and you just know when something's not right. You're like, oh, I think it's suddenly having too much starch in my system's not good for me.
Yeah.
So, so I think I've been
Oh,
punished. So yeah. So anyway, we're gonna carry on and get to this week. We are going to be discussing the Minecraft movie because I actually got around to watching it.
so did I. So did I.
Yes. Even though we've both basically I'd already watched it before you sent me the video to watch,
Oh, had
and
you?
it's also the same bad copy that I watched on my completely legal website. It's the same bad CGI copy.
But what's weird though is that from what I've been told, Like, because so for anybody watching, there may be some spoilers, but to be fair, the movie is a lot of fun and a kind of bit of a thing. So it's probably not going to be that much of spoilers. Like, it's not like
No.
we're like the guy, Bruce Willis's character is actually dead at the end of Sixth Sense. It's not going to be that groundbreaking. Like, it's
No,
not that
it's
thing.
not.
But what's weird though is people are saying that it is like that. So in the copy that I got, you could notice a little bit of green screen. You could notice some of the cables in the background. But a few people that I've said that seen it said it is funny because all of them have like long hair and it's all flowing.
Yeah.
You do see the green screen in the actual finished film, which just blows my mind. And I'm like,
Well,
okay.
obviously, I haven't gone and seen. I did ask my neighbour because he took his kids to the movies this week, obviously because kids are on holiday here, and I asked him how polished it was. He says it actually is quite polished. He says if you're really nitpicking, you can spot some things, but the copies that we've watched are definitely that's definitely like pre-production for execs to sign off on this is what the direction the movie's going to look like.
You reckon? Because
So
like from what
I feel like it is. I honestly feel like that's what it was, and it's just interesting.
yeah.
But yeah, I am looking forward to seeing like a really good copy actually out and actually having a look at it. But yeah, definitely. But there is one right. Okay, one thing I will have to say. Right. Okay. When we
No,
said
because
this,
according to this, so I just googled it. Sorry, and it says the green screen movie trailer. No, it says critics argue that the green screen work looks amateurish, and that the movie would have been better suited to animation given Minecraft's aesthetic. And it does look like there has been a few areas where it's just a bit messy. And I even said that to Cherish. I'm like, there were areas there where you've kind of got their hair, and then around it, you've kind of just got this green glow from what it is. And a few people have said that it is very much like that. And in areas, they can see different things. Like, so there's actually people saying that it hasn't been done well because I remember watching this film about halfway through. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I could have edited the green screen out better than that.
Yeah, no, it. Yeah, the animation style. I mean, I know the reason. Like for example, I know that our copy that we've seen is more of a pre-production than the official one that's been released because of the RIP the Technoblade scene that we see in it. Because
Oh, yeah.
we've actually seen that in the trailer, and that is fully polished off. So you can't tell me that they would have had polished off for the trailer, but not for the thing, because they would have directly cut things together. So that's how I know that ours is probably like a pre-approval sign-off thing. So it may be, but obviously I am looking forward to seeing this movie again once it's all fully polished. Once it's been released and available to watch and everything else.
Yeah, for sure.
But the one thing I want to bring up about this movie, okay, and I said this when they announced it. When was it? Season 2 of our season 2 or our season 3? Whenever they announced
it was a while ago, eh? Like
it was a while ago. And the one thing I said back then, and I still believe it's true after seeing the movie, is what would the storyline be? Because this is a good. Don't get me wrong. This is a good. Nothing else on a Sunday afternoon. Flick it on. Yeah. Because there is no storyline. Well, sorry, there is. It's a terrible storyline. It doesn't actually fit in with the lore of the game as well, which is kind of stupid.
What's weird though is this actually makes me want to go play the game because it does look like a lot of fun. And don't get me wrong, this is not going to be like a film that is going to break the internet. It's not going to be a film that's going to be like, oh my God, I love that they've stuck to this, or I love that they're doing X, Y, and Z, or oh my God, it had me on the end of my seat. It's not. But it is a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. All right, okay. Minecraft is a game of imagination, and we all know this. It's the reason why I don't enjoy playing it, because there is a general set direction, but it's the same thing with open world RPG games. I don't like them. I like to go from point A to point B, and you do everything along the way. Whereas if I can skip to C, but I don't get to experience B, but because it's all open world, it drives me up the wall. Because you do things out of sort of logical sequence, or you end up in an area. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go catch that pot. Oh dear Lord, it's 40 levels higher than me. Run,
Yeah.
sort of thing. That's the problem I've got. So, first of all, the storyline itself was a bit out there, in my opinion. Obviously, it's funny how, like, for example, with the flying ghasts, with the boat thing, Minecraft have literally, with the release of the movie, released a new update so you can attach a boat because I think the latest update they added in tameable ghasts. I don't know how you tame them. Before anyone asks, before anyone gets at me and I say it wrong, I don't know. Okay, I don't. I'm not following all of Minecraft's updates at all times. I was just aware that I know you can tame a ghast now. Don't know how you do it, but you can. And they used to be able to ride on the top of them, but because of the release of the movie and they've got the platform things underneath, you can actually you can rope a boat underneath, and then you can sit underneath the boat and fly it that way now instead. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So the fact is that they've taken some elements of the movie and now put them into the game. Cool, that's fine. All for it. Think it's really good. But when they're going to do a big bad character, bear in mind that they've recently. I mean, they've got obviously they've got the Ender Dragon is like the big main one. Everyone knows that one. It's the big main thing of the Minecraft game is defeat the Ender Dragon, and then there's all the other new bosses you can go on to defeat, like the Elder Guardians, what's the thing? The one underground, the Warden or something, the big boogeyman underground. I don't know what his name is. I think it's a Warden or something like that. And they've just released a new one, which is this screaming forest thing. That's a bit odd. But the fact is, you have all of that quite nicely. You've got like a whole big set of bosses there. You could give them a bit of character if you want. You can have them voice or something like that. That could be interesting and fun. The fact is, they throw out this random, odd boss character who's not in the game whatsoever. Even being a hoglin mage isn't a thing in the game, sort of thing. I mean, hell, you could have gone with the witches and the pillagers and all that jazz. They could have just stuck with that, and that would have worked.
What's funny too though is everything you're saying is gibberish to me. Like, I know nothing about Minecraft. I know that a good friend of mine, Flaming Scott, he loves it. I know that Xbox Gamer Dad's kids are obsessed with it and love it. And I'm kind of like, I've never played it. I've never had any inkling to play it. I've never been excited to play it. I know none of the lore. Like, this to me was brand new. And yeah, so like when you're talking about it, I'm like, I just had some fun with it. And
yeah, no, I don't get me wrong. I agree wholeheartedly that because, funnily enough, the missus asked the neighbor, asked the genuine question of how easy is it to watch as a movie if you've never played the game, and he went, "Oh, it's simple as it's quite just an easy watch. Don't stress about it, sort of thing." They explain a lot of it up front. There's some things they don't explain, like this. The main thing that they're trying to keep what is it? The something of domination, the gem of domination.
yeah, the sphere of domination, but it's square.
Yeah,
which
the
just
sphere of domination, which is that was.
It makes me laugh.
Yes, no, it was strange, but yeah, I think in terms of overall, it was good. I did, as I said, the nod to a lot of big creators was quite good, especially the Technoblade one, because Technoblade is. I used to enjoy watching Technoblade. Well, obviously, rest in peace, because he lost his life to cancer 2 years ago now. I think.
Yeah.
No, 3 years ago now. I think it was. But yeah, I still, funnily enough, since the Minecraft movie came out, I thought, you know what? Actually, I'm going to go back and rewatch some techno videos because why not? Sort of thing, because it's quite nice to watch it. Quite nice.
I'm wondering if he is going to get a bit of a boost, because even I knew of Technoblade. Like, I know nothing about Minecraft, but I knew of Technoblade. And then when I saw the pig with the crown, it did make me happy, and I was just like, oh.
It was a very sweet nod to him. I think it was really well, because logically they could have had anything, like maybe of a character in the background doing some weird stuff, or a potato, or maybe a pig potato farming would have been a classic. Everyone would have understood that. But the fact is, I think it was such a nice little nod to the thing, just a pig with a crown just crossing the screen. It's like, and who is that? No, he's like, oh, that's a legend. It's like, because Technoblade never dies. Blood for the blood god.
It is great though. Like, it was just a nice little nod, and it just shows. The one thing that I also was very shocked to learn about this, which completely off topic, was Jason Momoa obviously done has worked with Warner Brothers for most of his big movies. Aquaman. We've seen the first set shots of Lobo
Mm.
in
Oh,
the Supergirl. Have you not seen them?
no.
Oh, so they've got that,
Oh,
but it looks like he's been with Warner Brothers through all of it. So he was paid $17 million for this film. Jack Black, you would say would probably be the star of this film, was only paid $3 million because he's never worked with
Because they work with Warner.
Warner Brothers before. He's always done other things, and I'm like, that kind of blows my mind a little bit.
It's one of those that's interesting. Actually, I also think it's because logically, Jack Black's character, obviously being Steve, is more like if they decided to pick this movie up again for a sequel, Jack Black's more likely to be coming on it than Jason Momoa, in my opinion. Because the character of the Jason Momoa, yeah, it was a bit fun, but it was a bit. I don't know if you'd put him in for a sequel. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, or because I do think you're right. I think it'd be more with Jack Black, but I guess the idea is they've kind of sold it that now Jack Black and Jason Momoa are friends, so you could.
Yeah.
But that being said, like it was a lot of fun, and it does feel like those people that were like a big gamer back in the day, and then just holds on to that, and that's all they've done is like peaking at high school, that old thing.
Yeah.
And then the fact that he was stuck in the 80s, he's got the 1980s like Trans Am, he's got the arcade machines. All these things made his character just funny. And I think from being
it was
born
quite
in
actually good look at the Easter eggs, look at it from that shop, sort of thing. It was quite interesting. Sort of
100%.
Like, oh,
and I think being from the
there's a Atari,
80s,
there's a thing.
I think being from the 80s, we had those gaming events where it was done on an arcade. There's no longer computers or esports. It was like the first esports. And you were like, oh my God.
It was Twitch before Twitch was the thing, quite frankly. You had to go along, you competed and everything else, or you were there to watch. I don't know why you were there to watch.
You know what it also made me want to watch?
What?
Do you remember the old film The Wiz?
The Wiz?
I think it was called The Wiz or Wizard or something like that. And it had the dude from, what was he from? He was from, it was that one where everybody thought it was Marilyn Manson. The kid was Marilyn Manson, but it actually wasn't. Oh my God, what is it called? Wonder Years. There's a kid from the Wonder Years, and he's kind of got this like almost like Rain Man-esque kid. And they have to play Mario in this competition. And that was the first time you saw the Nintendo Power Glove.
Wow. Okay.
Like,
no, The Wiz comes up. The Wiz is...
it's the Michael Jackson film. That's the Wizard of
Jackson.
It's the Black Wizard of Oz version.
The Black Wizard of Oz, yeah.
Yeah. What is it called? It's called The Wizard. It's from a 1989, I'm going to say, 1988. And it was like this guy's kind of with his brother who's a little bit slow.
Oh, yeah, I found it.
Oh, yeah. And it's got Fred
Wizard,
Savage. That's the dude's name. I just Googled it. Fred Savage, Christian Slater. It also has Tobey Maguire, but he's not really credited in it. But yeah, lives with his PTSD after his twin sister, Jennifer, drowns. And then he kind of becomes this legend at at Mario. Then the dude brings out his little fucking Nintendo Power Glove. And then the little kid finds the secret level in Mario 3 that's never been seen. And then shortly after that, Nintendo launched Mario 3 that just went bananas. Like, this whole thing was just a promotional movie for this. And it is such a weird, bizarre film, but I love it dearly.
Yeah. No, that looks a bit insane, sort of thing.
Have you not seen it?
No, I don't think I have. To be fair, there was a lot of movies coming out in the 80s, sort of thing, and it was easy to get missing by.
Oh, I remember this one. Let me see if I can download it and just send it to you.
It's all right. But no, so in terms of the storyline itself, thought it was a bit odd. In terms of the movie and being able to watch it, I think it's quite good. The fact is that the Rotten Tomato, I mean, the critics are saying it's 47%, whereas audience is saying 87%. So again, typical Rotten Tomato scoring sort of thing, where it's interesting. I didn't feel like actually that the lead sorry, I know that we have to call them all actors. The lead female characters in this didn't really add much to the storyline, quite frankly.
Yeah, so that's Emma Myers, who played obviously Henry's sister. and Daniela
Oh,
Brooks that played Dawn. Um,
yeah.
it felt like it sounds really bad, but like, and I'm not the only person to say it. I've seen it on Reddit and a few people, but it
Mm,
felt like Daniela Brooks was in it more as a token than for any other reason
yeah.
because there wasn't much she added. Like the bit with the wolves, kind of cool, but
I
there
mean,
wasn't really much to
yeah.
it. The sister, I get, and I get that the
Yeah.
sister
The
obviously,
sister wanting to save her brother and get him back and all that. Yes, that made sense.
but
Totally
I
got
felt,
that
but I
trope.
felt
Yeah.
like with poor Dawn's character, whose it was very throwaway. Like it was kind of like when they split the party. Obviously, you had
Mm,
Momoa, Henry, and Jack Black going off one way, and then the two girls going the other way. But you didn't see any of their story. You didn't see how they got there. It was
mm,
more like I need to find him. But then they
yeah.
said, "Oh, we need somebody else to come along with the journey," so we didn't just make her alone.
Yeah. No, I
And
get
that's
that.
kind of what it felt like. Like it was,
It did feel like it was crowbarred into place a little bit. It wasn't didn't feel as polished. One thing I have to say is having Stifler's mom Jennifer Coolidge in there in the
oh,
movie was quite interesting.
it's always
And
so
she
weird
still
with
looks
them.
good as well. Let's say we just acknowledge Stifler's mom still looks good. You know, even all these years, she still looks good. Nothing wrong with it.
It's just so random though. Like it really is just random.
Mm. It is, but it's really fun. I thought she did really like a really good job. The fact that the end scene where, because obviously, sorry, spoiler, she ends up hanging out with a villager and she starts to fall in love with him.
Yeah,
And the fact is that, of course, we end up having this point of where the villager talks, and it's I think it's Jermaine Clement whose voice is him,
it's a dude from the
and he's
IT crowd,
speaking. And
but
he's speaking he speaks fluently and everything else, and it's brilliant. And then, of course, we hear Jennifer Coolidge's response, and he's like, and it doesn't make any sense.
yeah, it's so good. But yeah, as soon as I heard him, I'm like, it's that dude from the IT crowd. After
Yep,
the original dude jumped out the window, they brought in this guy, and he's done some. He
he
always seems
has.
to be like this random character, either at the end or a throwaway voice or something. But it's so distinct that you're like, as soon as you hear it, you're like, I know who it is.
He is. Hey, yeah. Oh my god! I've just discovered that he's going to be in the next Avatar movie, Fire and Ash. That's going to be interesting. Yeah. Anyway, he's going to be
That's
a doctor, according to this. A doctor. So that'd be interesting to see. But yeah. But I have to say, overall, it was. I'll say the casting was interesting. The casting was good. Obviously, I like Jack Black, and obviously he took a big hit with Tenacious D, obviously breaking up and everything else, sort of thing. So it's good to see him at least on the bandwagon, sort of thing. Obviously,
yeah.
I know this was before the band broke up ever so slightly. The one major thing I do like about this movie is that it's given my current residing of living a bit of fame, because Huntley Power Station is the chip factory in the background.
Oh, is that actually what it was? Oh,
That's Huntley Power Station. That is literally down the road. I drive past it to work every
I
day.
want a photo. Straight up, I want a photo. But it is weird too, though, that now for some unknown reason the baddies, and I don't know why, but I have a feeling it's what's his name, the guy that does Thor, Waitiki or whatever his name is. Where
Oh, yeah,
now
yeah.
the bad guys, or if you want them to be bad but not too bad, you just give them a Kiwi accent. Because you notice all the pigs, all the baddies, were like, hey,
Yeah,
cuz, how's things? Oh, bro,
yeah.
show us that picture. And then she stabs him and he turns into a pork chop, which still makes me chuckle every time.
Mm.
But I'm like, what the hell? But I'm like, it's so weird now to give this Kiwi accent to something that you're like, I want him to be a baddie, but I don't want him to be real bad.
Well, no,
Like,
because everyone knows if you want a real bad guy, you make sure that they are British. Number one, that's like movie law. If he's going to be a really bad, sinister guy, he's British.
I think
Everyone
it's
knows that.
German. No, it's German, isn't it? Or Russian.
No. Well, I think German gets thrown in there, but generally it's British bad guy, standard British bad guy. He's and all that jazz all the time. That's what cracks me up.
It's
But
so
the
random.
fact, one thing I did, I mean, God, I'll tell you one thing actually with this movie that is really doing my wicking is I can't stop singing Lava Chicken. and I got it
Oh,
on my Spotify list now. Just so when I have the urge, I have to listen to it, just so I stop myself singing it constantly. La la
see,
la la.
if swear to God though, if I was Jack Black, I would literally buy into a chicken shop and just do like a charcoal chicken thing with a special
Lava chicken.
marinade and
Do
just
his
do
own
it.
version of Nando's.
But that being said, though,
Sting.
have you seen the chaos that is happening at these things where it's like Chicken
Oh,
Jockey and
yes.
there's
I was going to discuss the Chicken Jockey Challenge, as it's been called. Yes.
yeah, like mind you, I was watching the movie and when it happened, I'm like, when the thing first thing they're like Chicken Jockey, and then I'm like, I'm wondering for like the crowd or somebody to chant it, but it's literally a throwaway line. Like it's not like it's like a huge bit. Like in it, you see a chicken, and Jason Momoa's got to fight this chicken, and then this guy they bring this crate down, and then all of a sudden this jockey comes out, and then he's like, and then Jack Black looks at him and is like Chicken Jockey, and then I'm thinking there's going to be a chant that goes up or something. That's all it
Yeah.
is. And then if you've seen any of the videos, there's kids going crazy where they're throwing popcorns. There's cops being called. There's people that are shutting down movie
Yeah.
theaters. Like it's bananas.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
There was a group of guys in the UK that let off a flare and then ended up setting the cinema on fire.
Yeah.
Like,
Basically, they've all gone. Right. The fact is that there's no official like. This is where it started. You know, it was so and so posted this, and therefore it's gone on. I actually can't find anything that tells you who sort of suggested this as an idea. I think
yeah,
that someone, because obviously they knew that scene was coming because it was featured in the trailers. So
yeah,
we know it's not like it was picked at random a couple of weeks after the fact. I think someone just thought, "Oh, I'm going to do this stupid joke for a bit of clout on Tinternet," and yeah, then what happened is that of course people pick up and run with that crap on online, and yeah, and then next thing you know, the cinemas are on fire, and devastation. Like they got things like saying throwing full ices, which I assume is like slush puppies,
yeah.
at the screens and
here
all that
weirdly
stuff.
they're called Slurpees just because that's what 7-Eleven called them, so they got the
Oh,
name.
okay.
Or
Yeah.
their frozen cokes is the other one that they've kind of given. But
Yeah, it's one thing I find hilarious is the fact that Jack Black went and recorded an extra thing that gets played before the beginning of the movie now, especially in the States, and it plays and says, if it basically says, do not be a jerk and ruin the movie for others. If you start screaming chicken jockey and start causing riots, you will, basically he just
yeah,
rattles off the script that he's read. And the fact is, I was like, why do they have to get Jack Black to come back and do that?
yeah.
That's the thing. Because like anyone's going to listen to him. The fact is if people want to do stupid crap for clout on the internet, they're going to still do it. It doesn't matter.
And what's
So
weird
they
too,
get
though,
like,
is I do feel like people are still going to be like, that just makes me want to do it more.
yeah,
And to
no,
be fair though, like if it sounds bad, but if you're Warner Brothers, as much as you may go, it probably should stop. The amount of like
oh yeah,
news outlets and different
it's
things.
driving sales. Let's be honest.
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm
come
saying.
on.
Like I'm like there's a lot of like just random news agencies picking it up and showing it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like there's people like one of my friends who's what is he 37, 38, and he went hoping that it would happen and it ended up happening. And then there was a few things where people lost their minds and whatnot, and they were like, "Oh my god!" But what's funny too though is that that yeah, he was like, "It's insane," and just the amount of stuff. He's like, there was popcorn everywhere. Like he's like, when I sat like right off to the side, very back, far corner,
Yeah.
so that I couldn't. But he's like, it is 100% like that. Like they just go bananas, even still. And sure enough, people walked in and they closed down the cinema for ages. And yeah, like he'd already seen a dodgy version of it, funnily enough. But he just went
Yeah.
just to see what it was like, and it was just
Yeah.
like, what the hell?
As I said, it's kind of a waste, and I don't get it. when generally when these challenges go around, I see them and there's generally some form of merit in it, a little bit
Yeah.
here, there, or everywhere. But this one was like, it's stupid. Why?
Yeah, I know.
But then again, I feel like, am I being too much of an old man? That's maybe the problem, because I'm not cool, young, and hip like the kids anymore.
Yeah, it's probably that. It's probably just that. But
It could be that. It most likely is. This whole thing, yeah.
But I must say though, so from what I've been told already, but as of April 14th, the Minecraft movie had already passed $400 million worldwide, which means it had
Wow.
slightly just taken out, just
How
slightly past what is it, Snow White,
Snow White.
and also rumor is, and it came on the same article, which is really weird. And this is what I don't think. So it says that the live action Minecraft movie was the fourth biggest opening ever for a PG movie. So it's obviously saying there's a lot. And then what's weird though is at the bottom of that article, it actually came out with that there's going to be a third Beetlejuice, which is kind of random. But I'm like, okay, cool.
That's a bit random. Also, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the second one. I thought it was all right, but it wasn't amazing.
Yeah.
Per se, but I really don't think. Do we need a third Beetlejuice? I don't think we need a third Beetlejuice personally.
All what we do is we just need it in like 30 years time, like what they do with the other ones. But no, I must say, like when we first spoke about this, I was like, this seems ridiculous. Obviously, there was a lot of controversy around. Well, Steve in the actual original, which I don't know, I'm just saying this from what I read, was a young boy, and now he's like Jack Black in his 50s, and like I actually thought what was going to happen was Jack Black was going to. So at the very start of the movie, you see Jack Black as a miner, and then he goes to go in the mine, and the guy scares him off. I thought part of the movie was going to be he was going to come back after dark, go in, find it, go into it as a little boy.
As a kid.
And then it's going to be like 40, 50 years down the track that he's been in there. But it really wasn't. And that being said, though, like, and again, I'm sure there's people out there that are going to watch this podcast and just abuse me for being like, you don't know shit, you don't know what you're talking about, which is true. And I'm hands up, don't. But that being said, I didn't hate it. It was a good watch. It wasn't taking itself too serious. It wasn't trying to be more than what it was. It was just a good, silly, fun film. Like, and I love that. I kind of love that.
Yeah. No, at the moment, right, I'm going to give you a score, but this score is based off of the moment on seeing what I've seen on this totally legal website sort of thing. So at the moment, I'm scoring a 6. I want to see, though, I am willing to update the score once I've seen the official release.
Yep.
Once I've seen the official release in whatever form, then I will happily come back and readjust my score, sort of thing. Because I would like to think that the copy that I've seen is not the official copy. Because if it is, 6 is generous. I'll be honest, 6 might be generous.
But have you noticed too, though, that you didn't notice as much of the crappy green screen until after the Chicken Jockey bit? After the Chicken Jockey bit, those few end scenes in the ones that we saw actually had, like, you could see the lines, you could see, at some points, you could see massive green bars around them and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God. But what's weird though is I'm kind of like, most people probably haven't seen after that. Like my friend, the cinema got shut down afterwards. Like people lost their mind. Just before that bit, he reckons 4 people came in to do it. And what they were going to do is they were going to kick out troublemakers or whatnot. But then because the entire place erupted, they ended up going like, okay, well, here we go. But it is so fucking random. Like, so random that everybody's kind of like, yep, cool, whatever. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think it certainly is an interesting concept. The fact that they leave you with the end credits scene where Steve's back in the real world and he goes to his old house and he gets to, and basically we get introduced to the back of the head. We don't get to actually see her, which is Alex, which is the female character from Minecraft.
Okay, because I didn't understand that bit. I was like,
yeah, basically, yeah. So it's Steve and Alex the male and the female character, when you select who you want to be when you join the world. And then obviously they then brought in where you were able to customize your Minecraft skin, and then that's when everyone went wild because you can suddenly customize the skin how you wanted.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so the fact is, so they obviously didn't give us a casting for Alex, which opens up some possibilities, which would be quite interesting. And I think it would be the one. As you say, this is where me being a nerd, because I have played the game, and obviously I've watched Technoblade and Dream and some of these other bigger YouTubers who have done Minecraft. The fact is that I was noticing lots of inconsistencies, like the fact that like Steve has elytras, which is the flying wing gliders things that he has.
Oh, is that the thing that he taps on the back and then he goes?
Yeah, taps on the back and they can glide. Yeah, but you can only access them once you beat the Ender Dragon and you go find an End City and all this jazz. And the fact is that he said he's only ever had one Ender Pearl, so was kind of, which means that he's never gone to the end. So I don't know how he got elytras, which is very interesting. I'm sure one of our lovely viewers will be like, well, actually, Jordan, I think you believe you can find them located in this kind of dungeon in the overworld. Yeah. And I'll be like, thank you for informing me, because I don't know. But yeah, it is about, there was a few inconsistencies like that, but I did think it was quite interesting. I did like the thing where the Enderman and I forget the kid's name. Is it out? No,
Henry.
When he locks eyes and he sees like kind of evil versions of things, and we see Jack Black with the white eyes, which is a nod to Herobrine, which is basically the boogeyman. It was the self-made boogeyman of the Minecraft community, because people would swear that they would leave their leave their world and come back in a couple of days later, and things had changed slightly.
Oh,
like things were off. And Minecraft heard about this and started putting in all the updates. Herobrine removed. And it was always in the updates. It was always the last line, and Herobrine's been removed. And it's like, and people are like, yeah. And people swore down, people made videos of, I found Herobrine and all this. Obviously they were all debunked as fake.
Yeah.
But I think it was quite clever of them to do it, because I think it was in one of, it was like the update started from, I think it was last year or the year before. It's the first update came out and it didn't have the line at the bottom saying Herobrine removed. So then everyone was like, "What does this mean? Does this mean they're gonna put Herobrine in the game?" People are kind of not. He's never showed up, but of course people are now concerned and worried that Herobrine might actually be a generated mob. And Minecraft Movie putting this in as a little nod of seeing Steve with the white eyes is like, ooh, here we go. That could be an interesting character for the sequel. Sort of
That's
like
cool.
that.
Yeah, no. Wow. Okay. Yeah, because as I said, I have never played this. I'm interested to play this now, weirdly. Just because it does look like a lot of fun, and I actually quite enjoy the building elements of things. But for me, I'm like, this is what sometimes you go to films for, where you just want that little bit of escape. You want something that's adventurous and fun and just good, honest value. And I feel like this especially just delivers on that. And I'm like, that's all I wanted. Like, that's what I wanted from this film. I didn't expect much. I didn't expect for it to be like, oh, the be all and end all. I didn't expect for it to break box office. I didn't expect for it to be like, say, Usual Suspects or something that, or Ronin, or something that just became like, oh my God, this is one of my greatest favorite films ever. But it was just fun. And I think that's...
I think in terms of a movie, I think it was a solid enough movie that I would be interested in seeing a sequel.
Yeah.
But I would want to know, I'd want to see a better plot line. And let's be honest, I'd want to see some of the bigger, badder monsters. Like, let's see the Ender Dragon. Let's see the Ender Dragon, the Wardens, the Elder Guardians. Let's see some of, even the Woodland Man. I mean, oh no, we did get to go to the Woodland Mansion, didn't we?
That's what I'm like. I thought we did, didn't we? Or am I?
No, we did. Yeah, we saw the pillages. Yeah. Sorry, but it would have been interesting to see a bit more of that sort of thing. Like seeing raids and stuff like that could have been interesting. Like, there's just a few things I think they could have done a bit more of. But I did like I found it a bit weird with the entire improving different golems and stuff like that. So whether Minecraft are going to start doing that as well and adding in better golems that you can craft and stuff like that would be interesting. But certainly it's a good two-way relationship for them, sort of thing, having ideas like this.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's a good idea too, just to be able to have that kind of, be able to change things almost and be able to be like, okay, this is a good bit in a movie. People like this. We can bring this into game versus also not.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah. Overall, good solid movie. Look forward to seeing if there is a sequel. Apart from that, please stop wrecking the cinemas for stupid
Yeah.
memes. It doesn't work. It's
I must say
stupid.
though, like you see it and it's like, okay, cool. But it's like one of those things where you're like, when you see like Jackass do something, you're like, that's kind of funny. But nobody else
Yes.
would do that. You shouldn't do that.
Yes.
That's not something you should do.
Mhm.
But the fact that it seems to be happening, like, that was the weirdest thing. So in Australia here, they actually showed the news and it's like, they showed an Australian one. But then they also showed this is America, this is Canada, this is UK, Ireland, Scotland. Like, they actually showed it from like all the different countries. And I'm like, okay, like doing it once is kind of a bit of fun and just doing that. But like, but from what I've been told is there's people that are paying to go see these movies that aren't a part of this and they're shutting down whole movie theaters because they're just like, no. And to be fair though, like you look at it and the place is absolutely trashed. Like not even just a little bit trashed, completely trashed.
Yeah. No, it's stupid, quite frankly. So let's hope they do that. Get past that straight away. I do need to see at some point. I need to see this Mickey 17 because I've seen lots of good things
Yeah,
online.
it looks like a lot of fun. I haven't seen it yet. I do have a copy of it.
Yeah.
There was that, and then the other film that I also really want to see is Novocaine, where it's the dude from Boys, and the idea is that he has this disease that I can't remember the name of, but it did actually feature in House once, which is how I first heard about it, and then it's now featured in this where they can't feel pain.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, he meets this girl is like, no, try food, and tries to really like accepts him for what he is, and he falls in love with her, and then she gets kidnapped. And then he goes after him. But the problem is he can't feel pain. So at one point then he reaches into a vat of boiling hot oil, like a deep fryer, to grab the gun or whatever. Or he does this, he gets stabbed in the hand. Or as he's walking, you see him, he trips his booby trap and whatchamacallit, and a bolt is shot through a thing and shoots him in the leg. And he's like, is this really necessary? And it just looks like it's going to be kind of ridiculous, but kind of fun as well. And yeah, it's one of those things where I'm just like, this could be a lot of fun, and that's another movie that I'm well excited to see, just because I don't know, it's just funny. Like, I think I just like the concept of it and stuff.
Yeah, no, that looks interesting. I might have to have a look at a trailer of that and see what I think. But yeah, I was just having a look and see what else is coming up, that sort of thing. There's nothing. In fact, I know the Thunderbolts is coming out, and it's coming out the weekend just before I go away.
What is it, May 25th, isn't it?
No, I thought it was May 1st.
Oh, is it?
Sure, I've said May 1st. Thunderbolts. Yeah.
Okay, do the Googles.
Thunderbolt.
Oh, yeah, it is the 1st of May.
Yeah, 1st of May.
I only say that because my sister works or has volunteered for, I reckon, going on a decade for this thing called Free the Bears, which is obviously in Asia where they have the dancing bears and stuff. And they've actually saved a lot. She's also gone over there and volunteered at it, and they've actually got an event where it is to see the Thunderbolts, and you pay, I think it's like $25. Which is so weird because then 23 of it goes to the cinema and then $2 from each thing goes to this Free the Bears campaign. I'm like, you serious, bro? You couldn't just lower the ticket slightly to help out this thing? Like, part of me is just like, I'd much rather just give $20 and go here, give it to the Bears. Yeah. But yeah, so she's got this thing, and that's on the 25th of May in Yarraville. So I was like, oh, maybe that's when that must be the release date. But it sounds like it's coming out like 3-4 weeks after that.
Yeah, no, that seems a bit odd for them, sort of thing. But yeah, no. So it'll be out and available a week Thursday. Yeah, a week Thursday.
I am actually excited for this. This is one of the few Marvel ones that I've been really looking forward to, just because it's all these great bad guys, and as I've said many times in the past, that's one thing that Marvel has done that I think have done better than DC is they've got the bad guys really good. And it's going to be good to see, obviously, Winter Soldier's kind of be bad. We obviously get to see the US agent and stuff, which is also nice. Like, I just feel like there's a lot of great things happening in that movie. So I'm like, oh, this could be really good.
Yeah, no, it will be. It's gonna be. It's gonna be. It's gonna be good. I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, right. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up right there, sort of thing. I think we've talked it to death, and we're just gonna start talking in circles. Want to say a big thank you to all our recent likes and subscribers. Please make sure you do like, share, and subscribe to Dorks Down Under podcast. We are available to see our beautiful faces on Spotify and YouTube, and we are available on all good podcast platforms, including iHeartRadio. Apart from Apple, screw you, Apple.
Because
We're not paying for it, Apple. Screw you. Anyway, I want to say much love, peace out, enjoy yourselves, and hopefully you all got fast and enjoyed yourselves over Easter.
layers. And if you have a Minecraft server, let me know because I'm actually going to download. I'm actually going to buy it after this. Like straight up, I've enjoyed this movie so much that I just want to buy it.
Peace out, guys.
Layers.